Well, good day, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up on a wild trading day. I sat back and I was watching it in my trading chair, as I like to call it, my command center. You know, I start laughing about that, and I'm looking at it, and I'm watching the CPI number come out, and the immediate reaction is bullish in the stock market. Why? Because the number is, even though it's the 8.5%, the core CPI fell a little. That's all the traders need. They saw that and they go, oh, maybe this means that we're topping in some of the key items. And with that, the market rallied literally the whole morning. It was a powerful rally. If you take a look, Miss Brainerd, who is going to be the vice chair of the Fed, comes out and she's speaking a scheduled speech today. And what is she saying? She's saying that it's full bore go. They're doing a half-point hike May. They're going to be the discussions about now running off the balance sheet. That's like another quarter point if they do it. And that took the air out of the market. The market also had good air from it on the way up because we're hearing positives out of China, especially Shanghai, where they're talking now of allowing workers to return first to the financial hub. Anytime you begin this, you know, these programs will start spreading through the whole country, and people will get back to work, and it'll be business as usual, we hope. That's going to be the big issue. So you've got to pay attention to that. What did the crude oil do on the Shanghai news? $6 higher. Yeah, $6. You'll see that in a minute here. I thought that the bonds and notes would fail off the rally today. I wasn't right on that. We'll get to that in a minute. Grain markets trying to put on a little bit more of a rally. They're the inflation vehicle right now. People are looking at food inflation, and they're saying, I don't care what you want to tell me with all these numbers. I have two items that are killing me. Actually, three. I got gasoline when I go to the pump. That's not too good. I've got food. I can see that every day because I got to buy food, and my rent doesn't go down. It goes up, if anything. That's what the consumer's saying. It's a disaster for the Democratic Party. I don't see how they come out of this at all. What they should do, I'll give them an idea, stop with the fuel nonsense and throw money, real money, behind electric vehicles. Make things happen. All of a sudden, we don't need all this fuel. We can become a world exporter in it. We're not burning our green. If we can get more green, if you will. Why not get behind that? I'm reading about this. I just read about a Tesla car. What if I tell you the new Tesla Roadster, 0 to 60, I'm a car freak. The new one, the special edition, is coming out of the Roadster. 0 to 60, what time frame do you think? 1.1 second. How do you control it? I'm just amazed. And I've driven Teslas. They are fast, the regular ones. I can't believe it. So, you know, guys that have Lamborghinis, Ferraris, why? If speed's your thing, you got the wrong car. As you take a look at what's going on, all we did is rally up to, and you can't say that this was wrong, to the 18-week average. Everybody was talking, we're going to the highs and so on. You know it, I know it. And I felt like I defended myself every day saying, I don't think we're going there. I still don't think we're going there. And the market's showing you where the resistance is. Now, this pullback doesn't change an awful lot on the chart. I've got to be frank. You could get an easy rally in the second part of this month and carry this market back up a ways. I don't think to new highs by any stretch, but a ways. You've got the lower high, lower low. What's the definition of a downtrend? Right now, it's there. Where's the resistance? If you can't see it, you must be blind. It is the 200-day average. In red, the 18-day average, and in green, the 100-day average. Those are your resistance points. And if you go back to April, we began the market right here near the 4,500 level, and the resistance goes right here from the 44.73 to the 45.20 zone. So you got to keep that in the back of your mind. There's a tendency in April to rally. Maybe that's what it does. So what did the market do? If we take a look at the market, this is yesterday's close. This is today. The market takes off to the upside and then gives everything up and comes back to the lower Bollinger Band. I think it's going to hold it. I am not looking for the market to cave in from here. I could be very wrong, but the Bollinger Band, I think, is going to hold the market because you're oversold. I teach that the first challenge of it is where the pros, if they're short, and there's reasons to have been short, to come out of the market down there. So today, whipsawed people. We'll see if it means anything. I wouldn't be surprised if we get an attempt at a rally again. In the Nasdaq, let's take this and take a look. This is where you were yesterday. The low of the market was 13,984, just missed the lower Bollinger Band. Well, today, why don't we just say, let's make a run for it, and you did. You went right to it. You got to 13,880, and now you're back to 13,945. That is not a bull sign. Please understand, none of this is a bull sign. It is a sign we're in the market. That's where the pros are coming out. We had resistance up here. It was clear. I kept saying it. I said, if you think you're going back up to these highs, I have a different opinion. And it took guts to say that. I got a lot of people saying, I don't know what I'm talking about. The market's going higher, blah, blah. Okay, no. In the micro, Dow, coming down. Momentum here closed yesterday. You get a bull report today. You know you had good rallies, but by day's end, you sank back, and maybe you're getting a little bounce tonight. Again, where's all our resistance? Right through here. There is nothing yet bullish on this chart. I realized that I put out last week a friendly report as to what the market typically does in April. But none of this work has yet signaled get long to catch that rally. No part of it yet. So while the market has that tendency, you still need the fundamentals to give you a turn somewhere, even if it's not the best signal that the market's going to do something. It hasn't done it. The Russell ended up, strangely, with an outside day up. So, you know, taking out this low would be a weird thing. I don't know what the goal would be below it because you'd be under everything. And if it can rally out of here, then the 18-day average of closes is your resistance. Here, too, you're oversold. So we have an oversold condition in all the stock indices that is down to major support, the lower Bollinger Band. When you're oversold, not embedded, and you hit that, you often, that's all I can use the word, it's not always, often, get a bounce. And when the VIX goes up to the upper Bollinger Band, just the way you did today, that's where pros, if they're long, the trend has been up, come out against that position. You're not embedded. So there's reasons to say maybe we're going to get into this trading range with a little bias to the upside as the stock indices get away from the lower band and this market reverts down, which would be friendly overall. Nothing friendly in the bonds. You got a rally today, and all you did is get a bounce. Not much of one at all. You haven't had a good opportunity to go short, and I don't think it's going to let you. Now, you are flirting here. Here's the close today in the 10-year note. You're flirting. You may lose the embedded reading. You got to see how it's going to go. Will you get over it tonight? Both numbers are not over 20, but it is all of 7 o'clock at night. No, it's too soon to figure out what you do with that one way or the other. If we get a rally where you lose the embedded reading, target wherever the 18-week average of closes is your next resistance point. In the dollar index, are we going to embed? So we come over here. You didn't on Friday have both numbers over 80. You did on Monday. You did on Tuesday. And here we go with tonight. Could be 3 in a row. If it is on the pullbacks, I will start telling my clients to be buyers. But after it embeds, the earliest I would do that is Thursday. It has to prove it can embed. In the eurocurrency, the low today was 108.46.5. If the market just rallies from here, because it's already embedded, this one has it. We don't have to take that. But here, first day of embedding, second, third, you embedded today. So the key is not to take out this low and get a bounce so you can get short. Don't know if it'll occur or not, but that's what I'd be looking at in the market on a sell condition. British pound, sideways action. You get to that Bollinger Band and you're not embedded, you don't do anything. What if you embed? So let's take a look. Both numbers here are not under 20, and this was the close Monday. Today they're both Tuesday under. It doesn't matter what we do, we got to get another day. I'll let somebody else own that market, but it is bearish but oversold. Bitcoin. The correlation between Bitcoin and the Nasdaq is very high. It's running in the 90 percentile. That'll change, but it's there right now. So as the market goes with that, if you watch this early in the morning, this market was higher. And then as the Nasdaq gave it up, so gave this market. But now you've hit the lower Bollinger Band again. That was the target. I said as the market turned down, that was your target. You've hit it. I do not make a new target up from there. Oversold. If you were next to me and hit with the elbow and say, you got to be out of all shorts in this market. Now we get to the differential of Brent versus WTI crude. So it was broken from a differential just at the beginning of March. It's given up $4 in that differential. That's quite a bit. As you can see, the market's got a good piece of news. What did it do with that news today? Watch this. This is the rally today. Up $6 off the news, and I believe it's purely that China might be opening its markets again. So where's the logical target? Probably the 18-day average, where it's going to have to figure out what it wants to do when it grows up. In the WTI, the same thing. You were oversold, never made it to the lower Bollinger Band. That's important. But you broke the downtrend. If I pull all this in, do you deny that you had lower highs, lower lows? That's the beauty of the swing lines. They show it to you. You can quantitatively see it on the chart, not you're guessing where it is. If you take out this number right here, this day's high, which was 98.12, you've broken the downtrend. Market breaks the downtrend today. Now, if it goes, I would look for resistance at the 18-day average of closes, but there's a story. The story is you don't want to be short this anymore. The market is saying, Now, I don't think you're going back to visit this level. I want to make that clear. You need some type of shock again. OPEC is talking. They came out with reports today, and they're saying that the market's going to stay very tight in supply because they think world demand is going to pick up, and they don't believe that there's enough capacity out there to necessarily meet it. They did revise everybody's growth this year down, by the way, but that is still what they saw. I wrote about that in this morning's report. You have a higher high, a lower low, and lo and behold, market got up to just over the 18-day average, and it's following through. So you're not in a downtrend, you're not in an uptrend. You have nothing right here. Natural gas still bullish as can be. When you lose the red leading closing under 79, I will argue you're going back to the 18-day average of closes. Until the market does that, it would have to make a new high to prove me wrong. But first you need that to happen. So what does that mean on deeper breaks you want to do? You want to buy until that happens. But you don't want to buy it if it first takes out the prior day's high, in my opinion. So still looking like a good market as far as I'm concerned. And I talk this way, much more specific, in my morning futures video because there I'm unleashed. Buy here, sell there. This is what my experience has been in the market. I've done it 50 years. I went today to my office in the Board of Trade. I haven't been physically in it in over a year. And there's still nobody in the building. It's very, very quiet. Put my pass in, it wouldn't work, of course, to the whole building. Had to get and have everything renewed, and they did it. But it is still very quiet at the Board of Trade. I think most people are still working from home. Nice to see faces I hadn't seen. But you see all this? You get it. And what we're adding now is, with every subscription, the full research of Linn. So all their research, their charts of the day and so on. We want you to trade with us. We want to prove what we've got. We want to show you what my research is, what theirs is. You tie it together. You get fundamentals. You're getting option strategies. You're getting the futures from me. I think you get a full package. How do you find out more? Just go to our website, or you can do this. Take your cursor, just move it up here. Everything will light up, and take it from there. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day. Have a good one.